Bang. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Card Hedge podcast. I'm your co-host, Omar, aka Retro Hoops. I got my man JD Sports Cards in the house. What's up, fella?
Good evening, Omar. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, fine sir. Is that
Thank you.
that New England?
I'm glad you're doing well.
Okay, where's JD and what have you done with him? Oh man, must have been one of those kind of days for you today, I guess, huh?
Oh, dude. You know what? This is the one thing I'm gonna say. For those that watch, and you understand this because you have kids, and I know I'm judging by our demographics. I'm sure most people have kids that watch us.
Yeah.
I Thursday nights are crazy because I get home, I go to the gym, I come home, pick my one daughter up, bring her back to volleyball practice, come home, feed dinner, go home, get my daughter from volleyball, bring my other daughter to soccer, and then I get home and I do this. I'm driving home. Luckily, we have this massive sports complex facility, like right next, like an indoor place, like literally 5 minutes from my house where everything's basically at. So it's fine. But I'm driving home. And I happen to look because I can see my house from the road, like the main road I drive down.
Yeah.
And it is lit up like Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation, bro. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like NASA could track us right now. Like every light in the house is on, like the backyard lights, the front lights, every room in the house. I'm like, I come in, I'm like, what's going on in here? They're like, what? I'm like, and then I'm like, oh my God, I sound like my mom.
It's like the Vegas Strip in here.
Yeah, for real. So anyway,
I feel your pain.
Yeah, that's it. All good, man. Life is good. I look forward to this hour of talking cards and life and sports. So,
dude, it's it's funny. So I'll give you another old man story. So right now, this weekend, it's a big racing event here in Houston. It's called Texas 2K, and basically, what it is it's like all the baddest street cars in the world, right? They all come here and they're coming here to race. It's a whole weekend event. But what that
Vin
does
Diesel gonna be there?
Who's that?
Vin Diesel gonna be there?
No, he's not a real racer.
No.
And so
according to the movies he is.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's
That's
also
not real.
He's also Riddick in movies too. So there's a bunch of guys all over town here in Houston, there's a bunch of meets going on where a bunch of guys pull their cars out and they're all hanging out in the parking lots and stuff like that, big car meets. And so my buddy just bought a brand new Camaro, right? Souped up to the tits. I mean, this thing's badass, 600 plus horsepower, just ready to rock and roll, right? And so he just bought it and he's like, dude, I'm ready to hit the streets. Let's go. And I'm like, cool. So I'm fired up, right? I'm like, bet, let's go. I just got my truck. It's all, that thing gets rowdy. Let's go. So and then he goes, all right, cool, man. I'm going to head home. He's like, I'm going to shower up, eat dinner. He's like, I'll probably leave the house around 9:00. And I was like, nah, fella. I'm not leaving my house. I'm trying to come home at 9:00. And he's like, what? I'm like, nah, dude, that's past my bedtime, bro. I'm not doing this. So finally he coaxes me, right? He's like, nah, dude, come on out. I'm like, all right, fine. 9:00 rolls around. He does not call me, right? I'm like, if he doesn't call, and I turn around, I look at my wife, and I go, if he doesn't call me by 9:15, I'm getting in my jammies, and it's a wrap. And sure enough, some bitch didn't call me. He calls me at 9:30, 9:45. He's like, all right, bro, we're ready to go. Good luck, buddy. I'm in bed.
Have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, have a good time, bro. Because I'm not doing it.
Deuces.
Exactly. Yeah. And he starts sending me all these videos, dude, from the meet with these guys in these freaking twin turbo Lamborghinis and freaking twin turbo R8 Audi R8s and stuff, just freaking mashing it down the freeway. It's nuts, dude. Yeah, these guys get super squirrely out here, man. Super squirrely.
I'd like to own I'm not a car guy.
Yeah.
But I'd like to own a Lamborghini. Can you make that happen for me?
I could, man. You come down to Houston, I guarantee you, I got two guys that I know that we could probably call up and we'll do a little running around. Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually scared to go to Texas.
Why is that?
I think I'd like it too much.
Well, I was just about to say that. You won't want to go back.
I wouldn't come home.
Well, you know what I'll get you with, and I get this. I get my. I have a couple cousins that live in California. They do really well for themselves, so they live really well
Yeah.
in California. But when they come down here, and I go up like, hey man, you just bought a house. What did that appraise for? Oh, like $1.2 million, $1.3 million. Okay, let me show you what you could get for $1.2 million, $1.3 million.
Yeah.
And they just like their minds are just blown. They're like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, California's like
Yeah.
ginormous ripoff.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But and then we start going to the grocery stores and they see what a gallon of milk costs and a dozen eggs and bread and things like that. They're like, what the heck? Gas is $2.50, and they're just like, why is everybody driving trucks? It's like because Texas, that's why, it's like because we can do that, man.
Yeah.
Because it costs $75 to fill up my tank, not 280, right? It's like
What's gas cost down there?
I filled up the other day, 260 premium.
Oh wow. We're at 299 here now.
That's not bad. Well, but is that just unleaded, regular unleaded?
That's regular unleaded.
Yeah,
I drive a Tacoma, bro. I mean, I'm not driving some.
Do you really? That's a solid truck.
Yeah, I'm a solid individual.
I was gonna say the truck fits the personality. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, don't get me going down no car path here.
I can go on comments. Just talk cards.
Yeah. Stop talking.
Shut up and talk cards.
I have no pickups today because I just bought a street truck and I spent my allotted funds on that. So,
all right. I don't have any pickups either because I just bought pizza.
Nice.
I got one.
You just bought pizza.
It's a big one for me. So I picked up I got my stupid KG background. Whatever. I picked up a 2018 Topps Update Acuna gold rookie card PSA 9.
What? Gold? That's a serious card, bucko.
Yeah, out of 2018, serial numbered out of 2018. It's a nice card. It's on my Instagram. Go check it out. So I dropped like $350 on that thing. So that was my card money for the week.
2018. Oh, this one right here?
Blue jersey.
Yeah, let's see here.
Yep.
Right here. Pow. Is that it?
That's it.
And a PSA 9.
Yep.
What's that baby go for in a PSA 10? About 1,000?
You know what? I have Card Hedge open right here. Let me look. I don't know. Probably like $700.
That sounds about right. Double the price of a 9.
I mean, we're not carding, so
no. I mean, it's not like we have access to a database or anything.
775. I was close.
Okay. That's close. Yeah. That's about right.
That's a
nice.
That's a great guess.
My it's actually right on, almost right on. My PSA order got received on Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's already, let me see, PSA card. Let's see.
My second PSA order is finally moved into QA2 after 6 weeks. So
yeah, so mine was just at the it was just at the we received your order stage.
Yeah.
I checked it yesterday, but I'm curious to see if it's moved at all. I doubt
They're running about 8 weeks.
Is that what it is, roughly?
That's what we're seeing. 8 weeks.
Dude, that's not bad. Yeah,
it's not.
It's really not bad. I hate to keep poo-pooing on PSA, but that's really not bad.
Yeah, I don't even whatever. I could care less anymore about any of it. It is
here
what
we
it
go.
is.
Research an ID already. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like the first few move along quick, then it gets to QA1 and it stops. And it just sits there. And then like once it hits QA2, it kind of moves right along again. But it seems like for whatever reason, there's a holdup between QA1 and QA2. So
I would imagine that if I'm looking at the steps, right? So it's arrived, order prep, research an ID, then grading, and then assembly, and then QA check 1 and QA check 2, and then shipping. So I would imagine that grading should be their bottleneck. But you're saying
it's probably already done. I don't know why it's taking so long on the back end, but
yeah.
Maybe those people are sick. I don't know.
They're still putting out 1 million cards a month, though, bro. That's
Yep.
that's
That's a lot.
insane. That's
a lot of
insane.
cards.
That's a
Yep.
lot of freaking cards.
Yep.
A lot of freaking
Yep.
cards.
What I've just decided flat out is, kind of as like I'm grading and whatnot. Like
Mhm.
I'd say some goes to SGC, some goes to PSA now. Like
Mhm.
where everything was going to SGC before. There's just the demand for like I have to say, like the SGC brand has grown. Like
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
grown,
Yeah.
it's pretty much widely acceptable now, like everywhere, or why
Yeah.
accepted, I should say.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you find, um, you know, stupidity. Like I ran into something the other night on my card post. I was, trying to sell this guy wanted to buy a card, and so it's an SGC. Da, da, da. I'm like, all right, listen, homie,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
take you to church real quick. You
Right.
know, um,
Yeah. If that's
so
your comment,
he
then it's
was
like,
he wasn't
okay.
prepared for the rebuttal.
Yeah.
So whatevs. But no, it's like, you know what, man, it is what it is. There's no use fighting it.
Right.
And I
Right.
think the smart play is to supplement your weight at PSA with SGC.
Mm.
So you're constantly getting cards to move or whatever it is you're doing, right?
Mhm.
Um, and that's that. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that we're starting to see kind of SGC, right, be more widely accepted. I remember when the very first time that I went to the Dallas card show, and I took some cards with me because I was going to sell. I was trying to sell some stuff.
yep,
And out of the maybe 2 dozen tables that I stopped at, and they were like, yeah, we're buying. What do you got? And I give them my stack. I'd say about 6 or 7 of them, like, just didn't even look through my stack because they just handed them back to me and was like, "Oh, yeah, we don't buy SGC, man." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
yeah,
I just kept it moving, right? That was the first time. We're talking almost a year and a half ago.
yep,
Uh, actually, a little bit over a year ago. And whereas now, the last time that I went, again, had a stack of stuff that I sold it all. It was all gone.
yeah, yeah.
And all of it was like maybe like one table, one guy was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'll take this one's good, this one's good,"
Yeah,
and
yep. Yeah, when I list things on eBay, that they sell I sell right out of the crap. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't it's not what it's nice because that's how it should be. Like you should like the market should
Yeah.
be accepting of kind of all of these companies, I feel.
Mhm.
Um, and I do feel like it's getting to that point where
Right.
even like CSG, HGA, uh, are doing all right themselves too. Like
Yeah.
every time I see an HGA sale, man, they're certainly not as many, right?
Right.
But when they do occur, I'm like, oh wow, that's like kind of it's right in line with like the other 3 or 4 they're competing against.
Right. They have
Um,
their place, right? I mean,
yes, yeah,
I feel like every company has their place, right? And look, to that point, right? I mean, and I've always said this, even though I've been extremely critical of PSA, and I've been extremely hard on PSA over the last 18 months or whatever.
yep,
Uh, I still don't think that they are. I still don't think they're as good as SGC in terms of the service that they provide. However, I'm not ignorant to what's going on in the market, right?
right,
Case in
yeah,
point, the video that just came out, Chasing Cardboard, right? That I
yep,
got featured in. One of the questions, Ty comes across this freaking insane Jordan collection of just massive inserts, dude. Some of the most beautiful inserts you'll ever see, and some of the hardest inserts to pull from the 90s packs, right? And the
yep,
last question that he asked me, he's like, "So, I'm reselling this stuff. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Dude, there's no question about it. All those must go to PSA. If resale is the game, right? And the most bang for your buck is what you're looking for in terms of selling it on the market and having it be market desirable, then PSA is where you want to go, right?
Right.
And
Right.
and I told him that. I said, "Hey man, you know me, dude. I'm a freaking SGC guy all day, right? But I know where they belong within
Right.
within the grand scheme of things."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even Peter himself, I think, has said it before, right? Where he goes, "Listen, we're not trying to beat PSA. We're trying to provide the best service that we can to
Right.
the hobby." And they're doing that, you
Yeah.
know?
No,
So
they're all doing fine. I mean,
yeah, they're all
they're
doing fine.
certain
That's a good point,
they
right?
are. Like if they weren't, they
Yeah.
wouldn't be grading.
Well,
So
they would
we have up here, I was texting you this last night, man. Like, so the network that the Red Sox and the Bruins are on, they're owned by the Red Sox. So
Mhm.
they have a show called The Card Life, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with on Instagram, The Card Life TV. It's Matt Strom. He's pitched for a few different organizations, but he most recently last year was with the Red Sox. So they air the show, and it's great, man. It's all cards like on TV. It's like straight
TV?
cardboard talk on TV.
Yeah.
But all the commercials, man, are like card related. So like Pristine
Really?
Auctions, CSG. Like CSG had a lot of ad on um, the show,
Mhm.
bro. I don't know what it costs to run an ad on TV. It ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap. No, it's
You know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So so the fact that we're
you
seeing
know,
that kind of stuff out
yep,
there for that
yeah,
is
you
a
know,
sign.
I just think that as far as I think for me, what I'm doing is stuff that I send to SGC is I'm selling it, if
Mm,
that makes sense.
mhm.
And stuff that I'm gonna probably hold on to is going in PSA right now, simply because it's stupid, but I like to put the sets together and I can put those in my registry
Yeah.
and have all that.
Man, that registry.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, little man?
This kid's got quite the Pokemon collection.
Does it?
Yep,
Solid Pokemon
yep,
collection.
yep. I hit
But
the
yeah,
bricks.
dude, I mean, it's what everybody wants to do. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like it can, I don't knock anybody for doing it, right? I mean, especially big collections like that. They obviously have that set registry what's it called? Not the set registry, but uh the PSA. You just mentioned it. What the frick's it called?
The set registry.
Is that what it is? Set registry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
registry.
So, and that's one thing that SGC has been lacking on, completely lacking
Yeah,
on.
no, 100%. And like for me, again, it doesn't like I'm still I have a stack of PSA slabs here too that I'm probably gonna either try to trade or sell or whatever as well.
Mhm.
But you know, it's just like I said, some of it I just sent to see what they would grade at. Others I
Mhm.
cracked and sent and they graded lower, um, which is comical. You know what I mean? So like, I think one of the topics we wanted to start talking about was like the grading standards or whatnot that's coming out of kind of the different companies, right? And for me, like I think it's important that like I don't really want to talk about BGS because I don't grade with them. So I
Mhm.
don't have any like real knowledge of, you know, do I think they're grading fair or not or anything like that. So like
Right, right, right.
to me, I don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah, yeah.
But PSA, BGS, and PSA, SGC, and CSG, I've sent cards to like decent amount here,
Mhm.
um, and I've had pretty good luck with all of them.
Mhm.
I just don't understand the thick card thing at PSA. Like, why can't a card get higher than an 8? You know what
Yeah,
I
they
mean?
just
Like
yeah,
that,
it's been tough.
that's weird to me.
So this is
Um,
this is what we're talking about here, right? So if
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
down in the link in the description, there'll be a link to the Retro Hoops Facebook group, um, where we get a lot of cool. There's not a lot of people there. I'd like to try to get that that group up a little bit more. So I'll probably start pushing a little bit more here in the next couple weeks. But we get a lot of great posts like this. Shout out to my man Brian. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is Brian Basketball. I want to say that's him. If not, I apologize. But anyway, he posted this, right? He said, he bought this mint plus 8.5, and then cracks it and sends it to PSA. Gets a PSA 10, which is like, so the debate is like, okay, well, who got this wrong, right? Because he also sent a Pete Alonso, a CSG 9, that he cracked and submitted and got a PSA 10, right? And so the question is like, okay, who's right here and who's wrong, right?
Right.
And and the comment that I made was this is the long-standing debate, right? Anytime somebody grades something with another company other than PSA and it gets a different grade, the question is who's right and who's wrong, right? And you can have a debate about who's right and who's wrong, but I think the main debate is who has the most who is the one that's going to set the standards? Who is setting the standards here?
Right.
Who sets the standards? Does PSA set the standards? Or what is the criteria for the company that we as collectors are going to allow to set the standards? Right?
Well,
is it who's been around the longest?
I think it goes to that one.
Because, right. So then is that PSA or is that SGC?
PSA. Because that's the one that's been most widely used in PSA and BGS, right? Those are the two that have been most widely used for 30 years, right?
Right.
And up until the last couple years, that was always the case. That's not the case anymore, right? So I think with CSG, right, wasn't the argument people were making or the complaints with the green labels there when they first started grading cards, like they were crushing people on grades.
Oh yeah. That was
an
issue.
A lot of people felt like they were like over grading cards. So, I think at the end of the day, I think that, consistency is key, right?
Yes.
And me personally, I've had nothing but a consistent experience with SGC, where when I send the cards in, I'm within a half grade pretty much every single time. Like I think there's been maybe 3 cards in 2 or 3 years where they were just so far off that I was like, what the hell? And it ended up I missed something on the card, right? But when I graded with CSG, I waited until they got their new label because I wasn't really a fan of this green thing. But I felt like the cards I sent there got the appropriate grade. And I felt like with the times I've graded with PSA, other than the 2 Frank Thomases I have sitting here, but although I will have to say my daughter found a couple print lines on each of them, and I was like, what the hell? How did you see that? So
she's got young eyes.
They're accurately, in my opinion now, they're all accurately graded. Outside of the 3 Devers cards I have that were like a 9.5, a 9, and a 9 at CSG. They went to a 9, an 8, and an 8 at PSA. If anything, they all should have been 9s, I felt, but whatever. I knew that they would probably end up 8s because that's just what they do. But what I really think out of all this, right, is the majority of the hobby, majority of the space that when they grade cards for the last 30 years have graded with PSA and BGS. So you get used to what they've set as the standard.
Right.
And now you have, CSG coming on board with Beckett guys, right? And those guys that are at CSG are no slouches by any means. They have years of experience grading cards. Excuse me. Whoa.
They brought over the top dogs from Beckett.
So like in SGC, same thing. Like they've I don't know where my voice just went.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I think I'm dying.
Well, don't do that on the podcast.
I don't know. There we go. I'm back. SGC has been around forever too.
Right.
They've just lacked the market share and exposure of like, hey, we're reliable too.
Right.
And I think they've done, of all of the companies, they've done the best job of like, hi, we're
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. Exactly.
I think from the pandemic, if you
Right.
gave out an award who benefited the most or
Yeah.
who handled the pandemic the right way,
Yeah.
I think SGC would win the sports cards awards
Agreed.
of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hands down too. Right.
I don't know how else you make an argument for anybody else, right?
Right. Right.
Um, but at the end of the day, like we've said 100 times, competition is good. You want competition. You want these other companies to have a resale value that's competitive because that keeps the market strong and
Right.
it gives people options. Like again, 8 weeks, although it's good, it's a lot can happen in 8 weeks.
Oh yeah.
When if you send in 30 cards to flip and they're all football cards, 8 weeks, like 5 of those guys you sent in, their season could be over.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? So, unless you plan accordingly and are grading things off season to be ready for that season, you can't take advantage of some guy that pops off or anything. You can't do that unless you're
Mhm.
willing to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get it graded to speed it up at PSA, right?
Right.
And
Right.
let's face it, most cards aren't worth paying a whole bunch of money to have them graded,
No,
right?
especially
It's
if you're
clear
trying
as
to
day. Most
resell and do
people buy,
volume.
right?
Yeah, if you're trying
But
to do volume, it's not gonna work.
and I still think that SGC is too expensive, So like,
Mhm.
I really feel like their price should drop, you know. And again, like I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not there. I don't make those decisions. Obviously, I'm
Right.
just speaking as JD, the consumer.
Right.
I'd like to see their card grading go down to about $12.
Mhm.
That to
Yeah,
me is
me
a
too,
nice
the
little spot,
consumer. Yeah,
you
from the
know.
consumer side, I'm saying, yeah, me too, right? Because
You know,
that'll put them in a whole different spot.
and at this point, every dollar of resale matters
Mhm.
because especially if you're trying to take advantage of like the lower end base cards and things like that for people, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to squeeze an extra 5, 6, $7 out of that card and not
Mhm.
have that going to the grading company.
Yeah.
Now, again, you can wish for things all you want,
Right, right.
but you know, um,
But I think
it
moves like what they recently did here with what was it, 2023 tops?
yeah, that was a
Um,
great move. But again, I'll say I don't mean to cut you off, but that's a perfect example. If you can offer $9 grading, you can offer $9 grading.
yeah, 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 absolutely. Right, I agree.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, or
That's how
or
I
or
look
if
at
you
that.
can offer $9 grading on a special, then you can offer $12 grading for all day long,
Consistently.
right? Like you're
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because they're doing the same thing right now for TCG, right? And based on the numbers that was it Jim Rates put out,
Yeah.
they saw
Yeah.
a
It's
massive
worked. Yeah.
influx,
Yeah.
massive influx. I think it was like
Yep.
300% increase month over month
Yep.
on their
Yep.
TCG output,
But
which
keep in
is crazy.
mind the month before they basically had zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
well, not zero, but they had the normal, right? Like their
all
normal
right.
25,
Yeah,
300,
2.
3,000, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they jumped up to like 11,000 in 1 month, like all of a sudden.
Yep.
So the thing about it is that like I almost feel like they're doing these like Pete and those guys over there. They're smart, right? So they're kind of testing the market, right, and
Yeah,
seeing
agreed. Yep.
where
How
the
much is gonna come
influx,
in.
yeah,
Yep.
how much is going to come in and at what price point. And I really think that they're still fine tuning that sweet point
Mhm.
between okay, we
I
can
agree.
offer the
Yep.
cheapest and yet still get your cards out in 10 days.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And again,
And kudos
we
to
don't know.
them.
We don't have any inside information or anything like that.
Mm-mm,
But it's clear
none.
as day by 1,000,000 cards a month where most people are sending their cards,
Absolutely.
right? So that's great. But in that 8-week time, I could also turn over 8 orders at SGC.
Mm.
So, like,
So one of the metrics that we look at, right? So because I work in global supply chain, one of the metrics that we look at is days of inventory and how much
yep,
carrying cost we have, right, on a yearly basis.
yep,
And I would much rather turn my inventory 12 times a year, right, or even more if I can, than to hold on to it, right?
right,
If it's nothing but a numbers game, right? If all we're playing here is a numbers game, then SGC beats out PSA simply because you can flip 3 to 4 cards of the exact same card for maybe 20 to 30% less, but the volume
yep,
makes up for it, right? Uh, and again, if we're just playing a numbers game, right?
right.
But I don't know why the market and the dealers don't really look at that as a whole, is by
Well,
saying, well, we can flip
I
10 of this card in the time that it would take us to flip 6 and make more money.
right. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to a combination of familiarity,
Yeah, what you're comfortable with.
you know,
Yeah,
your experience, and then ultimately, like again, going back to the numbers don't lie. The majority
right.
of people are sending their cards to PSA.
Absolutely.
So that should translate into the majority of people would want to buy a PSA slab, right?
Right.
If
Right.
people weren't buying PSA slabs, they wouldn't be getting a million cards a month.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that to me, like ease of sale. But again, I do think now we're at a point, like the card shows up here near me in New England, man. SGC is everywhere at
They're
every
moving, huh?
show. Like they're everywhere. Like, and I'm not talking like physically SGCs at these shows, although they are at some of them. Talking like they're slabs, and
Yeah.
like the young kids have them. The
Yep.
the old vets have them. The
Mhm.
whoever, whatever. Everybody's got SGC. Where when the card shows first started coming back here, as restrictions were lifted and things like that, you'd see maybe 2 or 3 dealers have them, and that was it. Now, every table
Oh, yeah.
pretty much has a mixture, right? Which is nice to see because, again, to me, that's the way it should be, and you should know that CSG 95 Jordan is a nice card, right? And
Right.
if it
Right.
all right, if it's $100 card and you can get it for 60 bucks,
Yeah.
then
Then you're
that's what you can
winning.
get it for,
Yeah, yeah.
and you still keep $40 in your pocket to buy something else, you
Right.
know?
Right. And if you're
Um,
truly buying the card, then that's an amazing deal for you, right? I mean, like, one of the things that I want to start going after is more of these more I'm trying to buy more Penny Hardaway stuff. So I have quite a bit, but it's a lot of it's base and rookies and things like that. But I really want to start kind of going after some refractors and things like that from the 90s.
yep,
And man, that is going to be my saving grace. The fact that
yeah,
I'll buy a SGC 9,
right,
right? For for 20% of the price of a PSA 10, right? And still have the same great card
right,
in a great condition in
yep,
what I believe to be a great slab.
yep.
And this,
I I've switched that up too a little bit, man, where, like, I've definitely moved more towards collecting, um,
mhm,
than I have trying to do, like, you know,
the buy and
flips and things
flips.
like that and
Yeah,
what like that. Um, I'd say it's probably like 70-30
right.
collecting versus, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, like I still try to flip to,
To buy.
upgrade things.
Right, right, right.
Um, but it's good. And I also think it's good to periodically reevaluate what you're doing and
Yeah,
switch it up.
of
Because if
course.
not, it gets monotonous and you get
You're gonna
bored with
get
it,
bored. Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. One of
Um,
the things that I've been doing a lot lately too is especially on these Facebook groups
yep,
where you'll have a guy that'll have 25 cards and they're all great cards,
yep.
but there's maybe like 2 or 3 that I want.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'll try to work a bundle deal for those 3 that I want, plus maybe like another 4 or 5 that I know will move if I try to sell them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so you can get that bundle deal, potentially make a flip on maybe 2 or 3 of them to pay for the whole lot, and you got your cards for free, right?
Yep.
And so there's a lot of that opportunity out there right now, especially within these Facebook groups, right?
There's, you know what? Since we're talking about that too, and we do have a decent audience of listeners, let's talk about this for a minute. I for whatever reason, I have never really one time back in like 2021, I got hosed on Facebook by a guy that like I had done tons of deals with, basically talked to every day, both big KG collectors, and my man was ended up definitely dabbling in something that he shouldn't have been dabbling in, and never sent me my card, took my money, and I screwed up and I paid friends and family at that time.
Oof.
And that was my lesson of like, all right, I'm never paying friends and family ever
never
again.
doing that again. Yeah.
So recently I bought out of like a fire sale. I bought like $140 worth of sports cards. I did a video on this, and I never got tracking, never heard from the seller after he said, he'd send me tracking and things like that. So I messaged him because it had been a while and like over a week and still no cards. And I'm like, all right, these things aren't coming from Guam. Like they should have been here. I got a card from freaking Taiwan the other day in a day. How the hell is this taking forever? You know what I mean? So I messaged the dude and he's like, oh, it should be there by tomorrow. I'm like, well, you never sent me tracking, so I have no idea where this thing's at.
Right.
So then, like, out of nowhere, he comes back with a picture of tracking, and he's like, are you sure this isn't delivered? My tracking's showing it's delivered. Dude, it was my town. The little thing on the map was like my street. So I'm like, well, you know what, man? Sometimes my neighbor next door, things get delivered to her, and she's old, and she just like never returns anything if like a year goes by. So I go over, shady checker mailbox, nothing in there. Knock on the old door. I'm like, hey, just checking. We got any Amazon packages or anything like that sitting over here that I need to claim? She's like, oh no, there's nothing. Which she always gives us whatever is there, whatever.
Right.
And it definitely didn't go to any of my other neighbors because I'm friendly with all of them, and like they'd come right over and be like, hey, this is my
right.
So I'm like, what the hell? Like half hour later, he messages me back, and he's like, I found your cards. I sent them to the wrong person. And I'm like,
crap.
What? I'm like, so what's up with that tracking you sent me? So then I was like, really, like I had already opened a claim with PayPal and everything else because I had paid goods and services. So he made them like mistake, or maybe not mistake, but to my benefit, sent me the messages from that other person. And I was able to hunt him down on Facebook and confirm he did in fact have the cards.
He did have the cards.
Yep. So he's like, dude, he's like, I'm sending them out tomorrow. They're not, they're yours. I didn't buy these.
Right.
Like, I don't even collect baseball cards. So I ended up getting the cards, but the guy never answered, where that tracking came from or anything like that. So I crossed him off. I'm never buying from him again.
Yeah, that's kind of sketchy, right?
And then last night, I bought a Rafael Devers X-Fractor off a dude. And he's like, all right, I'll have tracking for you in the morning when I send these out to the post office. So like 3-4 o'clock comes around. And I'm like, I never got tracking from that guy. So I message him. He's like, oh, I never got it out today. I'll get it out tomorrow. And I'm like, what? And then I look back at the chat, like his sale, and I had already claimed the card. And somebody's like, oh, is the Devers X-Fractor available? And he's like, yeah, PM me. And I'm like, no. So I posted Devers is sold, like, whatever. So I'm like, here we go. Like, like people are like, so basically the bottom line is do not pay for anything unless you're using goods and services. Like, do not. Like, you can go online and hit the PayPal goods and services calculator and figure out exactly down to the penny what you need to send to, like, if it's for $50, it'll tell you send 53, whatever.
Right.
Cover your ass at all
for
times.
sure. For sure.
But yeah, I've noticed that in the Facebook stuff, like just recently, last couple weeks now, all of a sudden there's some shady cats.
Oh yeah.
So just a little FYI for people.
So I've turned down like several deals where guys are like, oh yeah, man, we agree on the price, everything, cards. I'm getting a great deal, right? Like maybe 60% of comps. Like I'm getting a really good deal here on a good lot of cards. And then they go, I'll go, yeah, man, just shoot me over your PayPal. I'll send it over. They're like, oh no, man, you think you could do Zelle or Cash App? I go, nope.
Nope.
And they're like, yeah, man, I don't really mess with PayPal. And I'm like, well, I'll pay the fee, bro. Just tell me, tell me what's your PayPal. And he's like, yeah, man, I really, I'd rather do Zelle or something like that. Nah, hey, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, bro. But, have a good night, man. I only deal in PayPal goods and services. And he's like, oh, well, hold on, man. No, I mean, you can ask for references, bro. You can have a reference from Jesus Christ himself. I don't care.
I send Zelle payments to one person and one person only, and that's Bobbles. I will not pay anybody else with Zelle. You know what I mean?
It's insane though that like why, like if you're doing business, why wouldn't you? Especially if I'm telling you, like, dude, I'll pay the fee, the 3.5% or whatever it is. I'll pay it. I don't care. Oh no, man. I don't really like PayPal. PayPal doesn't really, they try to keep my money sometimes. Well, they'll only do that if you get a claim against you.
Yeah.
But like, how many claims have you had against you that you're dealing with this so much that you don't?
You're not helping. You're not helping yourself.
You're not helping yourself out here. Yeah. So no, thanks, man. I appreciate it, and good luck with selling that to somebody else. And one instance I've seen in one of the other card groups that I'm in for Sean Kemp, I tried to buy a lot from the guy. He wanted to be paid in Zelle. I declined politely and moved on about it. Like 2 weeks later, it's like, hey, I'm finally calling this person out because I tried to message you, man. I tried to email you and no responses, and I need my cards, man. I paid you, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh shit, like, and I felt like, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't do any deals with that guy,
Yep.
But yeah,
do not
cover your ass, right?
I got no problem doing that stuff at a card show when said card is right in front of me or either in my hand, and I can say, yeah, here you go, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't have a problem doing that.
Right.
But anything over the internet, like especially on Facebook or Instagram, or whatever you're buying on, dude, if it's not eBay or PWCC or ComC or something, MySlabs, whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta protect your money. You have to,
for sure.
But anyway, what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, man. So what else? Oh, you know what? All right, while we got a little bit of time, right? Let's move on to another topic.
You had something. You had.
So my boy Jay Wilson hit me up today and he's like, hey, good topic for the old podcast would be has the amount of parallels and thus creating lots of rookie cards has that ruined the rookie card? And I feel like we should have Victor on for this, but
yes, I was just about to say that.
Whatever we say that's wrong, he's going to let us know anyway.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on that?
So it's funny, man, because I was actually I was just thinking about this the other day. Because I got some shout out to man, I'll forget who sent me this stack, but in this stack, I got a really nice Steve Nash rookie card.
Yep.
Great condition, good looking card. This was the NBA hoops of that year. I think it was 96, 97.
Yep.
Same as 97, 98. Same as Kobe Bryant's rookie year. Anyway, and I started looking at, and I was like, oh man, you know what? I kind of forgot about Steve Nash. Like, let me, start kind of digging around, and I'd like to pick up a few really nice Steve, PSA.
I got a nice Chrome rookie card I can sell you.
Yeah. See, stuff like that. So, I started kind of just poking around, and there's not a lot out there, right? I mean, there's maybe a handful, 5, 6 base rookie cards that you can get like in a base or a refractor.
Yep.
Call it maybe a dozen with refractors and all the the parallels, which weren't many in 97, 98. Which is the reason why there's only a
Nash
handful.
is 96, bro.
96, 97.
Nash is 96. I'm pretty sure he's in that class of 96.
So this is 97, 96,
Maybe
97.
Nash is 97. Kobe's 96.
Kobe's 96, 97.
Yeah, I was confused there for a second. So Nash might be the year after.
So is Nash. No, they're the same year.
No.
96, 97. Am I off there? Or what did I say? Did I say something different?
You said 97, 98.
Oh, no. 96, 97. He's the same rookie class as
Kobe's 96. Yo, look at this nice Hakeem refractor. Oh,
96.
Look at that. Ooh.
Oh, see, now why are you pulling out stuff like that?
You don't buy anything. I get all these cards to sell you, and then you don't buy them.
Well, the problem is that
another Hakeem.
I end up spending all my money on Sengun, which is
I got this nice Hakeem Gold, Topps Finest.
What does that look? Is that what the? Yeah, well,
it's gold.
You know what? You need to send me a picture of everything of all the Hakeems that you got.
I'm not. No.
What do you mean no?
Nope. You had your opportunity.
No. You've only sent me like 2 pictures, or maybe 3 Hakeems that you have. That's it.
Where the hell? Anyway, Nash is 96.
Yeah, Nash is 96, 97. Yeah. So I misspoke, but
that debate's settled.
Yeah. So but the thing is that he's got what, maybe a dozen rookie cards, right?
Right.
Half of which are really hard to get because they're parallels that were 1 in every 500 packs.
Atomic refractors. Yeah, there's just not a lot.
Yep. There's not a lot out there, right?
Right.
And so that makes that sets up a really what I believe to be is a really nice market for that player, because you have Topps paper, right? And then you can go and get, if you want to take a step up, you can get a Topps Chrome. If you want to step up from there, you get Topps Chrome Refractor. If he has a Bowman, then you got Bowman X Fractors and Gold Refractors. Like, it sets up a really nice hierarchy of collectors that can collect that card, right? And the values of those cards are always going to be pretty stable because there isn't that many out there, right? Whereas Zion, what's he got, like 300 and something rookie cards? It's like insane, right? Now, my man Victor might have something to say about whether or not the majority of those are even rookie cards, which there probably aren't, according to his, his top 10 rules, his 10 rules of rookie cards. But ultimately, it completely dilutes the market for that player. Nobody wants it, right? And we can sit here and debate about whether or not the 86 Fleer or the 84 or the 84 star is the Jordan rookie, right? We can sit here and debate about it. But the fact of the matter is there's only 2 cards out there that are Jordan rookie cards, which is why that 86 Fleer, even though it was printed out to the moon, it's still a highly desirable card, because there is a market out there for Jordan rookie cards that only 1 card can satisfy.
Right.
How many rookie fans are out there? Millions of them worldwide. Right. And so that appetite has to be driven by how many cards there are out there, and there ain't that many.
Right. Like, I'm with you. And I think, like, my thought would be, yes, the parallels have devalued the overall kind of landscape, right? Because for me, like, I look at things and I'm like, all right, like when they started adding color in, like with the like a blue refractor and a red refractor and a gold refractor, right? When they started adding color in back in the, like, whatever the hell that was, the early 2000s,
early 2010s.
So, all right, like, you knew what you were getting, but now there's like the blue wave, then there's the blue shimmer, and then there's the blue first off the line, and then there's the blue friggin' whatever, and then it's like, all right, but then which one is more valuable? Because most of the time they're all serial numbered the damn same.
Yeah.
And which one do you just go with, the true blue? What, like, so, which I think kind of happens most of the time, but then now you've got like these elephants and zebras and coppers,
dragon scales, and
ninjas and the Wu-Tang and whatever else, man. So it's like,
hey, a Wu-Tang.
yeah, I think they do devalue.
Wu-Tang.
Yo, I got the 36 chambers, baby.
I got that
So, like,
36
like, I think part of it would be like if like we talked about this, I think a couple weeks ago with like 2012 Prism. Well done set. Couple of parallels, move on with your day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And make them hard as hell to hit.
Right.
Make them hard to hit.
Look at this,
and
though.
that
to your point.
Yep.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 NBA products that were released in the 2020-2021 Panini basketball offering.
Right.
So in each one of these 30 products, you got 40 different parallels. And you got
just one set.
Right. But that's one set, like you got a base set, right? And then that base set, there's a rookie card there, right? So like for hoops, you have, I think, I'll tell you exactly how many because I'm chasing that Sengun set. Oh, here it is. Here is, if I'm looking at, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This was in last year's NBA hoop set. So last year's NBA hoop set, which is considered the base set, the base card has 25 different parallels that you can hit. Right. So does that devalue Sengun? Absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Whereas Kobe, there's less Kobe rookie cards, period, out there, different ones, than there is base Sengun rookie hoops parallels out there.
Now, maybe, right? Because let's think about that for a second. Because, well, right, like let's do a little experimentation here while we're doing this, right? 1996 tops.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right. So top on a Kobe for just PSA, just that's what we're going to stay with for simplicity. There's between a 9 and a 10. There's just about 21,000.
Yeah, but you're talking about Pop Report, though, right?
I'm talking PSA 9 and 10, 1996 tops, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
There's 21,000 graded, just about 21,000 9s and 10s combined for the 1996 tops, Kobe Bryant. Okay. Now, we hear all the time, junk wax, junk wax, junk wax. Well, you go to 2019.
So if we go basketball,
Zion, and I think Zion's at like 20-something thousand, just in 10s.
Just in 10s, yeah.
So Zion's at almost 40. Well, he is at 40,000 between 9s and 10s. If that math is right, let me do a quick calculation so it's accurate for the trolls in the comments.
Because you know they're going to come.
40,055.
Yeah.
So there are 40,000 9s and 10s graded by PSA.
So I got it pulled up right here. The total Pop Report on that is 41,604.
Yep.
And
but
that's
who cares about
that's in the base.
Who cares about the lower grades, right? But think about that. Double the Kobe Bryant, which is a high pop card, right? And is considered part of, although by 1996, I think they were starting to learn their lesson a little bit, but still the cards, there's a lot of them, right?
Right.
Oh, Zion's up a little bit too. He's almost at 100 again. Ooh.
Oh, no way. What are you on, Card Hedge?
Yeah. But so yeah, I mean, like you look at it, and I say to myself, if I was a collector of modern, ultra modern, or current day, whatever word you want to use to describe, like the Zion.
Uh-huh.
Am I best going with the base and the silver prism? Am I best going after the, a silver and a color
Number.
match? Like,
Yeah, right.
because, that seems to be a pretty big thing with collectors.
Right.
But then from there, it's like, what do you do? Because there's so many. Like, you could just spend time in Prism and never get out of it
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
see what's out there and all the other sets. So, like, so then again, right? Taking it a step further, because of all the parallels in Prism, and Prism is the main driving set in basketball for current day cards.
Mhm.
If people are spending time trying to chase after, rainbows and things like that, like you're doing,
Mhm.
how much time does that give you to go check out the other sets?
None. Yeah, none. As somebody who's doing it, I can tell you, none. Most of
Right,
your money and your effort and your time goes towards trying to collect the full set.
right, right.
Yeah.
Now, again, that's not everybody, right?
No,
But,
right. Right.
you start, all right, you check off the rainbow people, you check off the prism, the silver prism people, you check off whatever. There's still a lot to dig through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, why doesn't Court Kings get the love that it should? Well, maybe because there's just too much other stuff going on, right?
There's too many
Whereas
people trying to pull. Yeah.
if you had 5 parallels in Prism, 5 or 10, right? Because 10 I think is still manageable. If you had 10 parallels, you could offer up like, hey, what's this Court Kings product, or what's this Hoops
Mm.
premium stock, or what's this clearly Don Ross, right? But and then on the flip side, they're releasing so much product, you can't keep up with it anyway. So it's like the perfect combination of crap being thrown at us. And ultimately I would stand under the sign that said, yes, there's too much. There's like the hobby is like the not the hobby. The manufacturers are swallowing themselves
Yeah.
in their production, in their creativity, in their grasp at money, right?
Mhm.
Where the normal collector now, like, how many guys in a draft class hit in an NBA draft?
Yeah, we
What,
were talking about
2?
that earlier today. 1,
Maybe
maybe
2?
2. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's like a good draft if 2 guys hit,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Like, you can point to the '86 draft, the
The
'96
'96
draft,
draft. Yeah, the
the
2009
LeBron
draft.
2003 draft.
Yeah,
Well, oh
2003
three is
draft.
when you had LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh, right?
And Bosch, yeah.
Then you've got, you then from there, if you go through and look at the draft classes from '86 to current day, some years there's nobody that pans out.
Exactly. Or the number
So
1 the 1 through 5 picks are busts, right?
or like Giannis,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's interesting to like really sit and talk about and like really kind of dive into it because at the end of the day, where how do you determine where you're spending your money?
Yeah,
And if you're a collector and you're just trying to collect said guy's cards, then by all means do what you got to do, right?
right, right.
But on the you're buying something because or you think you can move it because said player is the hot guy or that's where the hype is.
Right,
How do you really know where to put your money?
exactly. How do you know what to buy is the thing that sucks.
I couldn't tell you. I guess if you put a gun to my head and said you need to pick something, I'd pick a silver prism
Silver.
or an optic hollow.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'd pick Silver Prism, Optic Hollow, and then if I got big money, I'm going for the National Treasure RPA,
Yep.
and then if I decide to go towards something that's, numbered, then I'm picking whatever the color match is, right?
Yep.
So, like Zion, the blue, whatever,
Yep.
like that kinda thing. Um, just because I think that's kind of more of an aesthetics play where you're going, okay,
Sure.
well, he's got on a blue jersey, color match blue, like the Luka. One of the prettiest cards I've ever seen, man, is that Luka Prism 2018 blue color match. Like that's such a good looking card. But look, check this out. I wanna kind of end on this note. This is something that I got lined up between me and Vic that we're going to talk about. So this is 2009, 2010 rookie season or card season, right? Yep. You look at 2010, 2011. Look how many cards there are. Look how many card offerings there was. So there was, I think, 1, 2, 3,
strike, though.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 30. So, man, they seem to do about 30 every year, roughly, is kind of what it comes down to. But look at this. This is maybe 12, 3, 6.
Right, but that was a work stoppage year.
Yeah, but check this out. Look at the following year. Nothing.
That's because they came back in a shortened season.
Yeah, I know. So that has had a massive effect on so many rookie cards. That's
right. Well, they combined. So now go to the next year. Go to 2012-13. Right
back to it.
There you go.
Right. So in this 2012,
2010-11 is, you got the labor shit. So yeah, you've got limited sets. Hence why, the prisms and the whatnots of that world, even any of that stuff even the hoops. Is hoops. Pretty darn,
Well, I mean, you only got 5 product that came out this year, 2011, 2012, right?
Right.
And so, there's a bunch of cards out there that are considered like the 20, like Kawhi Leonard, for example.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's rookie year was 11, 12, I think, or
no, he was the year before, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was 10, 11, right?
Yeah, he was 10, 11. Card wise, I think everything came out the following year.
Right. So his rookie card, even though it doesn't have a rookie card shield on it, is 11, 12.
Right.
So like it's super funky, man. Like that whole situation, right? So I'm gonna have Vic on, and that we're gonna talk about that. But like Klay Thompson, for example, right? I mean, here's like I got Klay Thompson's card. 2011, 2012, there was no cards for Klay Thompson. This is the first card, right? So it's like, is that his rookie card? Tristan Kardashian, same thing, right? And then Kawhi Leonard, and the same thing with Kyrie Irving, right? It's like,
dude,
all these
rid
guys.
Of that card. What are you doing with that? Throw that out.
What do you mean I'm doing that? With what?
Throw that Kyrie out.
With the Tristan Thompson?
No, Kyrie. Throw that out.
Why are you throwing Kyrie out?
Kyrie's awful.
Dude, he's a beast. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about like just like
he's a bad human being.
Personally,
throw that card in your trash.
No, there's somebody out there that wants that card.
Yeah, they're in their psych ward.
2011, 2012, like all these guys are 2011, 2012 first year. And they didn't have one. They didn't have a rookie card, or at least a hoops rookie card.
Yep.
So anyway, just a little sneak peek of what's to come. I got this Kevin Garnett Topps
finest
foundations. Yep. Yeah, I got to sort. I got to do some sorting. That's the other thing I haven't done in a while. I've been ripping so much product and buying so much stuff that I have this stack here, and I just bought more boxes, like more of the shoe boxes. I got to sort. I need to do some sorting. But anyway, good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
I think
as always.
I think we hit a lot of good topics here. And we got. I need to reach out to. I reached out to Chris Sewell, baseball card dealer, investor, collector, in that order.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I reached out to him about coming on with us. I think he's down for it. We just got to schedule some time with him. You got a guest that we've been unfortunately putting off for a little bit. We apologize for that, but so we wanted to kind of get back to just you and I riffing, and then we'll bring in some more guests as we got lined up. I think we're doing pretty good in that sense. So we need to do a live this month. Yeah. Which
maybe next week.
Yeah, before the month's out for sure. maybe next week. I think we'll figure it out, you and I, and then we'll let everybody know. But okay, cool, man. Anything before we split?
Nope. Have a great night, everybody.
PayPal goods and services, people, cover your ass.
That's right.
PayPal
Always.
goods and services. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we really appreciate it. We remember the Card Hedge app is available for download. Okay, check it out. We've been getting a lot of. I got to get with River and find out what we've been doing download wise, but we've been doing pretty good. So we appreciate everybody downloading the app, using it, and stuff like that. Remember, please don't be shy about any feedback that you guys can give to us. We're always, me and JD are always kind of relaying that feedback, and a lot of it's been really good. It's kind of driven a lot of updates and enhancements to the app. So please keep that coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, share the podcast with somebody that you think might enjoy it, and we appreciate you guys. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.